In this video, I'm going to demonstrate assembling a multiboard. I'm going to use a half-size one to demonstrate it, but the process is virtually the same for a full-size one. It will come something like this. There's an assembly sheet here with instructions. And this is for a standard multiboard with both the emergency protractor and the notebook straps. If you didn't buy either of those, then those parts just won't be here. So first thing we'll do is separate out the parts. Oh, you'll need a few things of your own for this. A screwdriver, clever screwdriver. And a microfiber cloth is also helpful. So the first thing we'll do is unpeel the acrylic. That, if you're careful around the edges, then you can get it all in one piece. Otherwise, you might have to pull off a few small bits. That's one side. You would kind of just want to get your fingernail under there. You can use various hard things as an accessory to sort of scrape it up, but your fingernail works. If we're only peeling a couple things, your fingernail makes sense. Now that's your front panel. And your back panel. Get a little bit started, and then once you get a little bit started, you can get the rest pretty easily. By using a hard thing to get started, you can see just by going like that, you get a really nice start. Okay, so that's your front panel and your back panel. So the first step, or next step rather, that we're going to do is apply the adhesive hook and loop fastener, the adhesive loop fastener. And for this, take the microfiber cloth and just run it down the edges. Try to make sure there's no dust. So two of these are identical, and then there's a third one out. The two that are identical go on the back panel. The odd one out goes on the front panel. So we'll do the back panel first. And the whole pattern aligns pretty much perfectly. So you get that in there. Oops. Nice and careful. There we go. That's one. Now the second one. There we go. Now just wipe this off again. Odd one out. This is symmetrical up on its long axis. I guess both axes. There we go. Then you'll want to flip this over, and this piece goes right there. And now on the back panel, you want to take this, your large rectangular Velcro piece, and it goes on the left side of the back with the text facing you. There's text engraved rather. You want to just center that and having it press up or almost up against the piece that's already there. Okay, so that's part one. The next part is the emergency protractor. Well, the next thing you should do is you take your closure strap, you thread that through here, and there we go. Now we'll do the acid bottle holder because that's what I wrote down in the instructions. The acid bottle holder, it's this little thing. It also is a pin holder that just slides through there, and you pull it through, just like that. Except here, doesn't make any functional difference, but one of these, the tail curves off one way, and the other one, the tail curves off the other way. It's slightly nicer if you have the tail curve off this way for the acid bottle holder. That hides it, otherwise it sort of sticks out. No functional difference, but there we go. All right, now we'll do the emergency protractor. So this is the emergency protractor main piece, and it also needs to be peeled. And you do it carefully. It all comes off as one piece. In the back. Just like that. Which is, of course, very clear and hard to see. That's how you want it. Now you'll take this little baggie that has the screw posts in it, as well as the paracord for the emergency protractor. We'll take all these pieces out. Put all of those there. Now, the next part is, well, I should say, if you have the wire spring clip on the front of your multi-board, or want that there, then you want to install that now. I'm not installing that on this one, so I'm skipping ahead. You want to install the feet. I have them on the same piece of non-stick paper as I had the other, as I had the hook and loop, but yours will probably come in on a smaller piece of paper in the same bag as the bolts. Anyway, those go on the back of the emergency protractor. There are little reference circles there to show you exactly where they go. I'm sending 4. I'm only going to put 2 on this one because you only need 2. The 2 additional ones are if you want something really, really secure. I'm just including 4. Now, the next part, I'm trying to do this by the book, or instructions rather. The next part is to install your emergency paracord, which do that by putting the hair tie through the hole, pulling the hair tie tight, while putting the paracord through the loop, pulling the hair tie tight, and then going through the other loop, just like that. Okay. Now, it is finally time to bolt on the emergency protractor. So to bolt it on, the order that the screws and bolts go is the nut at the bottom. That goes through the board. Then you want the rubber washer. That's next. Then you want to take the plastic clearish washer and put it on the screw. Then the screw goes through the emergency protractor and onto the nut. That roughly lined up, but don't really tighten. Get it just so it won't move, but you don't need to tighten it. And then do the other 4. Slightly better to go ahead and put these thin washers on the screws. And this tucks down. There we go. That rubber washer. And last one. Just get that in properly. There we go. Get that sort of out of the way. All right, now there are these little circles of the adhesive loop fastener. I'm going to use those to cover up the nuts on the back, on the loop side. Don't really need to do it, but I think it's slightly nicer. Just have it like that. There we go. That part is, oh, well. This is the optional dry erase sheet that can go on top of your map. I'm going to just put that in there. It's still unpeeled here because I don't plan to use it soon, and I might as well not peel it until I'm actually going to use it. So this can be set back into the side, and we move on to the right panel. Let's see, so the first step is to add the pin holder. Just feeds through there. There we go. And if you have a wire spring clip on the top here, of course you would install that instead of the notebook holder. So this is, you have your wishbones and your straps. Strap goes in the top, the other one goes in the top. You slide the wishbone through and pull it. And slide the other wishbone through and pull it. Spin it around. There we go. And the next one. There we go. Dropped the last one. Now the last one, the thin one that's for going on top of the notebook. There are these slots in the top here, so you can just slide it in through the top. You don't have to feed it through and grab it. There we go. All right, now almost done. Put the binding on. Just like that. And the binding on the other side. Now the best way to get it level and even that I found is to hold the board up like this, and then just twist the binding around while both edges at the bottom are flat. There's your binding, and then we will just put the strap loops in. Goes in there, and there, and then there, and there. And I do believe we are done. So we have a half-size multi-board here, in geology field work, ready to go. Now I'll just show as an extra. Of course, if you want to put your map in, best slide it up from the bottom. And his feet do an excellent job at adding lots of friction and keeping it from going anywhere once it's in there. And then if you want to put a notebook in there, you just, I don't think you can see that very well. Slide the back in, bring this strap up over the top. There you go. If you want to put a pin in, it goes right there. When you put a pin in, you might have to pull the back of the strap, back of this elastic tight, just like that. But that's really only the first time. After the first time, you can take it out and put it in, and it basically stays nice and tight. As a helpful trick, if you hold your strap like this, that keeps the corner down. And it has the advantage that when you close your notebook, you can simply move that back around on the top, and you're saving your spot. And if you're putting an acid bottle in there, well, if you're putting an acid bottle in there, it's pretty straightforward. And you could just pretend this chapstick is an acid bottle. Well, it just goes in there. There we go.